And I'm going to work with Caleb. You go, Caleb, I'll work with you. There's Hunter. Okay, you want them to have this so they can read along?
That's what
Cool.
I couldn't remember.
Here you go, Max. Right here, my Caleb.
But, yeah. Well, I don't know what the Senate, so I don't know.
So Hunter wants to make sure you guys understand it. So if you want to make sure what's up here. Okay, maybe you'll have a question you can read.
Thank you.
All right, who wants to go first up here? Max, you want to go first, bud?
Okay.
All right. Take your time. I think it's under Thursday, bud.
My name is Max. I will be testifying for HB 3080. State supported living centers. The state supported living centers. People are hurt, not taking care of, and people steals from them more than anywhere else. I want to live with my family, Mom, Dad, Lindy, Taryn, my dogs. Stupid Farley wants a new home. Thank you for your time.
Good job, Max.
Hey Max, you did a great job. Definitely with the order of things and the issues that you know of with SSLCs and then how it affects you personally. So great job making that connection.
Yeah.
Max, you had excellent testimony. I really appreciated how you told me the needs of some of these populations that are how we can help as the legislature, and just kind of some of the struggles that we didn't realize that they're going through. And then you really put a good face on it when you talked about your family and your own experience. So thank you, excellent testimony.
Good job, Mr. Max. I appreciate it. Can you maybe tell me a little bit more about why you wanted to come here and support this bill today? Why is it important to you?
What do you think, Max? Why'd you want to come to the Capitol today? What do you think?
I think
Yeah? Why'd you want to come and testify? Is it important that you speak up?
it is very important to speak up.
Yeah.
Yeah, it is. And you're speaking up on an important topic, so thank you.
Max, do you
Good
want to
job.
live? Do you want to live in your own home, or do you want to live in an institution?
Home.
Home.
Yeah.
Cool.
I think it's important that you do that and that the state legislature helps you. So thank you for sharing. Good job.
Great job, Max.
Good job, Max. You did great, man. All right, who's next? Caleb or Hunter? Hunter? Should we let Hunter go next?
Yes.
All right.
Hello, my name is Hunter. I am with Potter Live. I am for SB 21 to raise the illegal smoking age. I found that according to the Center of Disease Control and Prevention, nearly 27% of deaths are from smoking. Cigarette smoking kills more than 48,000 Americans each year in America. 38 million people who smoke cigarettes either every day or some days. My great-grandpa, Papa Max, got sick and died by smoking. for the yellow time, I was happy to answer any question you may have.
Great job, Hunter. You were very well prepared. You had it on your phone. You had it written out. So that just shows a lot of professionalism. So thank you for being prepared. And thank you for citing a credible source, the CDC. That's impactful to have that good research backing up your argument. And when you followed with your personal story of how, as you said, your great-granddad, yeah. If you could follow that with, so, you know, if this bill passed, it would have protected people like my great-granddad, because you had them there. But if you followed up with the impact of the bill, or the impact of the bill that it could have on your family, would have tied the knot. But you did a great job. Good job.
Yeah, Hunter, excellent testimony. Thank you for being prepared. And it seems like a lot of people are testifying on this topic. It must be a really important topic, and I'm glad to see so much advocacy of youth being able to speak on that. I thought you spoke very well. I didn't know that 34 million people smoke cigarettes every day. That seems like a lot of people to me. Do you all know, members, did this bill also include vaping, or was it just tobacco products? Do you all know?
Probably just tobacco.
Okay, well,
I
if,
could look that up.
well, let me ask you, Hunter, would you also want to extend this 21-year age limit to vaping as well?
Yes.
You would?
Yeah.
Okay, because it's kind of the same, maybe danger. We don't know the
Yes.
effects of what it's going to be. Okay, excellent. Thank you. Excellent testimony.
Good job, Mr. Hunter. Thank you for coming. I agree wholeheartedly with everything my colleague said. You were well prepared. You gave us facts. You told a personal story, and that's really meaningful. And just the fact that you're here talking about an important issue is really important. And so, as our chair said, you're here with a whole bunch of other people who support an important topic. And so I hope you guys keep coming back and standing up for what you believe in. So good job.
Hunter, you had more time. You had a little bit more time, so, you know, it's okay. I know that, you know, it can be difficult to be up there and make sure that you're saying everything you want to say, and you know, everyone's understanding what you're saying. But you had more time, and they were saying they wanted to hear more maybe about your family and how it impacted your life when you lost your grandfather. So all that cool stuff, man. But you got more time. Good. All right. Caleb, are you ready? You ready, Caleb? We're not talking to here. You want to test it?
Test it.
Test, test.
Test, test.
All right. You ready to read?
Read.
Right here. Read this with me, okay?
My name is Caleb. I am
Testifying
Tafa
against
against CCSB 21 did
Bill
want the smoking the
age
age to be 21 or think the should say is 18 or you is serve your country as 1/8 that your country should be there if you smoke at 18 you do you're an adult and able to make your own choices. You are 18 and you are your time.
Cool.
Great
Good
job.
job. You did good, man. Excellent.
Caleb, I really am glad that you brought up this other viewpoint on this bill, because this is a lot. We've heard some other views on this, and I've heard this argument before as well. If you're 18, you should be able to, and you're able to serve your country, and you can be tried as an adult. Why can't you be treated like an adult and be able to buy cigarettes and smoke cigarettes if you want to? I will mention, though, there is laws currently that if you are serving the military, you can smoke on a base, and this bill will not affect you. You can also drink beer on a base as well if you're under 21, if you're active duty military as well. So they do make some of those concessions if you're serving. Regardless, it is a good argument that we do here in America. We have a lot of sometimes contradictory ways of living, right? Ways that we set the rules. But it's a really good point. I appreciate your testimony, and I'm glad you brought this topic up. So, good job.
Great job, Caleb. It takes a lot of bravery to come up here and go through an entire speech into a microphone, so well done. You made it through the whole thing, and you stated your case really well. And it's always great to hear the other side, so well done. Keep speaking up.
Yeah, good job, Mr. Caleb. I do think it's very brave of you to come up here, as well as the rest of your friends that have come with you, and to speak your mind and to say how you feel about the issue. It's like my colleague said, it's always good to hear the opposing view. That's a really good discussion to have when you come to make legislation, is to hear all sides. And so thank you for bringing your side to the table. So good job.
That's great work. You stuck to your argument. We kept trying to convince you that you wanted to go for the bill, but you kept telling us no. And you stuck with it, which was great. And you did a really
Are
good
you
testimony.
telling me?
Did I say Max? I meant Caleb. I was talking to Caleb. Caleb did really good. So great work, Caleb. And you need to come back and talk more. Would you like to come back and do this, you think? Yeah. Good, good. Well, cool. Can we go take a seat?
Members, I think you would agree with me that we've been hearing excellent testimony today, and I'm excited for the next panel.
Woo woo! You guys are awesome. There's Joe. Joe's gonna shine there. It's all right, Chandler. You want me to sit next to you? I can. Yes, I can do that. I will. Anybody else? We need one more person. We need one more person. Come on in, Bridget. Come on, Bridget.
Bridget, heck yeah.
Get the dream team up here.
Yeah, Bridget.
Joe Haney wants to get a knuckles.
Sorry.
Not the blood knuckles or just like GT style.
All right, we'll hear from the first witness. If you could please state your name and your position.
Yes, my name is Joanne Haro, and I'm testifying the murder for the mentally unstable that are in prison. And I'm here to say that to all those who with disabilities and that have been prosecuted by the judges, and people may say that we have no idea what we're doing, but believe me, we do, and we deserve to have a fair trial, and we need to band together and stop this rampage of murdering innocent kids or innocent people that with disabilities, because people may not know, but I've seen it happen in my life so many times. I can't believe the memories that I now realize that it's terrifying, and there's no way to have good times anymore. But I believe that if we fight together on this matter of this principle, that we could defeat this injustice. For this, I swear to you that we could, come together and have an equal understanding of each other's where we come from.
Joe, first of all, let me compliment your testimony. I really appreciated you just rolling right on the cuff, man. And a lot of that testimony that you just gave, when you speak from the heart, and you're not reading from the script, which is it's not a bad thing to read from the script, but when you're not, sometimes it wakes people up here because they have to listen to so many testimonies and witnesses. Sorry, that's the word I'm looking for. Good job. I want to follow up with a question though. You're talking about. Can you talk about a little bit? Some examples of what you've seen happen that you mentioned?
So throughout my life, I seen one of my family members, they have like the same, he has a disability. I believe one of my cousins' name is AJ, I believe. And he has a son named Giovanni, and he is a little off sometimes, but some people treat him like the wrong way, like mistreat him, and I'm all upset. And I'm afraid that might be affecting the way that he is acting sometimes, because he gets a little mad and you might not know what will happen. So I'm asking y'all to reconsider to signing the bill for stop the murdering and the in jails for disabilities.
And one thing too, in the beginning, you mentioned your position, but you didn't mention the bill number. Which bill number was it?
Oh, bill number? I'm not sure.
Is it 418?
Yes.
Okay. Well, thank you. Excellent testimony.
Was the bill number SB 418?
SB 418.
Good job. All right, who's next? Oh, I'm sorry. I'm on your spot. I'm sorry.
No, well, Mr. Joe, thank you for your testimony. I really got some good insights from you and your follow-up response, and I do think it's important that we ensure that folks know that they shouldn't treat people bad, period, and then they definitely shouldn't treat people bad who have intellectual disabilities, because they are people too, and they have feelings, and they should be treated with respect. And because they have feelings, they might respond to people treating them bad just like anybody else. So thank you for speaking out on that. I think you should keep speaking out on that and educating folks and letting them know the importance of treating everybody with decency and respect, no matter who they are. So thank you.
Yeah, great job, Joe. This issue is really important to have your voice in, especially because you have some personal experience with it. So keep sharing your story and the story of your family members. Yeah, great job.
No, you did really good, dude. You did really good. And I really liked how you brought in your cousin, and you brought up the fact that sometimes he has behaviors, and people don't understand that it's things that has happened to him previously that's causing him to have these behaviors. A lot of people don't understand that behaviors are a form of communication, and a lot of people with disabilities use their behaviors to communicate because people don't listen to them other ways. So it was really cool that you kind of wrapped that in to the fact that maybe people with intellectual disabilities are getting into trouble because of the way other people are treating them. And that's maybe something we should reflect on, is maybe it's the community at large that's not supporting these people the right way. So that's really cool. And just make sure when you kind of tie it in to make sure you tie it back around. And one thing you forgot to do was just thank them for their time and ask them if they have any questions. All right? That's the way that's their cue to know that you're done. But you did great other ways.
Well, and he also forgot to mention, I'm gonna, that he's with the LEAP program.
Okay, yeah, that's all right. That's okay. That's all right.
Others the way you want to be treated.
Yeah, treat others. That's a good point. Treat others the way you'd want to be treated. But Joe, you did excellent, man.
Yeah,
You did
great
excellent.
job, Joe.
All right. Miss Bridget, is that you? Are you next? All right.
Okay. Just relax. Got this.
I'm sorry.
Okay.
I believe in you.
Right. Hello, everyone. My name is Bridget Thomas, and I'm with the Project LEAP program here at A&M. And I'm also from the Schertz-Cibolo Universal City Independent School District, which is in which is in Guadalupe County, or SCCISD for short. Today I will be testifying for the closure of the Austin State Supported Living Center, House Bill 3080. I have 3 supporting facts to back me up for this testimony, and I have a story related to this bill. Fact number 1. One of the most persistent issues is AND, which is an acronym that stands for abuse, neglect, and exploitation. Fact number 2. Any proceeds from the closure may be used for services only for people with intellectual and developmental disabilities, like me. And also like every single colleague here. Fact number 3. Right now, there's over 150,000 plus Texans that are waiting for services to live in their communities. And now my personal story with this bill. When I was younger, there was a time when I got into trouble for something, and my teachers separated me from the rest of the class. And I thought that they were discriminating against me, but they were doing it to make sure that I was calm. The reason why I want this place to be closed is because we all have a right to choose where we want to live. It's almost like the Jim Crow laws all over again. Once again, thank you for your time. I would be happy to answer any questions that y'all might have. Thank you.
With 5 seconds to spare, you had 5 seconds left. I didn't beep you because you were running those out.
Great job, Bridget. As someone mentioned prior, it is really helpful when you say, this is who I am and this is where I come from. Because even if there's a representative up here that isn't representing your district, they know whoever is representing your district. So they can say, hey, I heard from your constituent today and this was her story. So great job stating where you're from. And your presentation was super well organized. So it helped us know what was coming. Here are the facts. Here's my story. So great job just putting it all together, and you delivered it really well with research and facts and tying it into how it affects you personally. So good job.
Thank you.
Again, good job, Miss Bridget. I do want to echo what Miss Tiffany just said, in that when you talked about where you're from, that's important, because I will tell you, my boss has leaned over to me plenty of times and been like, oh, that's where such and such representative is from, and so they'll go back and tell them as she said, and so that's really, really good. I do like your the fact that you gave us 3 points. They usually say the good way to help people to remember things is tell them again, and then tell them again. And so you giving us those 3 points are really helpful in supporting your thoughts. So thank you. And I think you also tried to create some similarities or some parallels between like Jim Crow and things like that. And so that's a really good idea. If somebody doesn't understand what you're trying to help them to understand, to maybe give them a similar example. So good job.
Yeah, because like when the Jim Crow laws, happened back in the �60s. Yeah, because that was when the black and the people. Because that was when the African Americans and the white people were separated, and they actually didn't like that because that was when the Civil Rights Movement happened. With MLK Jr., Rosa Parks, and et cetera, et cetera.
Yeah, good job.
Good job.
Bridget, I really appreciate your testimony, and you organized that super well. And I think I've heard it differently than my colleague, but it's you tell people what you're going to tell them, you tell them, and then you told them what you told them.
Tell them what you told them.
Tell them what you told them. Thank you very much. But it was super well structured. You broke down with numbers, which is like 1, 2, 3. I was actually writing them all down, so that was really helpful. And then you related your story in the end, and it was clean. It was understandable. I really appreciate your testimony. Thank you very much.
Great work, Bridget. You had used all your time. You had 5 seconds left. I know you were nervous, but you calmed yourself down, and you didn't appear nervous during your speech. You read it really calmly and clearly. Great work. Great work. And did you have that thing about Jim Crow written down, or did you just think about that?
I I actually thought of that, and I also written down.
Okay, so you did that
Yeah.
last night after we'd already, great work, going back and thinking about how, like they were saying, drawing those parallels to help paint a good picture for people. Good work. Awesome. Cool. All right, Miss Mercedes, you ready to go?
Yes.
All right.
Hello, my name is Mercedes, and I'm with the Project Leap. I will be testifying on the closing of State Sport Living Center, HB 3080. Once of the most
persistent
issues
surrounding
the
quality
of
care
care at
SSLCs
SSOE is
abuse,
abuse,
neglect,
and
exploitation of residents
Texas will
with
with
disabilities.
disability at a
Majority
jury don't want to
choose
choose
an
an
SSLC
SSLC over their
community
homes and
community-based
pays
services average cost has stayed consistent
for over 15 years. I do not want to be sent to a living center. I want to live with my family and see my family. Thank you for the time. I will be happy to answer your question you may have.
Well, Mercedes, excellent testimony. I have a question for you. You mentioned the abuse, neglect, and exploitation at these centers. Can you tell us a little bit about that? Because I don't know very much about these places.
Well, they said they abuse them, but I don't think they should abuse the special need, because they're people too, and they have right to live with their families, because they're their life. Because sometimes the family choose for them, but what they wanted, you don't ask them. Cause I saw the news of when the dad was talking about, but I haven't seen the son. Cause you was sad they're gonna close him down, but what about the son? He should have opinion too. Cause God made people for a reason, for equals. Well, so everybody's equals.
Yeah. And that's the very principle behind our democratic society, right?
Yeah,
So-
but I'm just on it, so I'm not sure.
We're all different in our own ways.
I thought you had a very good testimony and excellent follow-up response, so thank you for clarifying that. Good job.
You're welcome. Oh, I'm from San Antonio.
Oh, excellent.
Good job, Mercedes.
Great job, Mercedes, especially when you talked about how important it was for someone to make the choice for themselves, especially with the story that you told in the follow-up and how it affect our options for community living. Yeah, great job.
Thank you.
Good job, Ms. Mercedes. Did I hear you say you testified on the bill? Is that what you said?
Yeah, because I didn't know the first, so I was going back and forth with her.
Yeah, that's good. That's good. So that you're essentially you testified neutral and you gave very good rationale for your opinion. And so that I don't know if that was you were the first one to do that today. But
Because I think God made everybody wonderful who they are, so they shouldn't be judged because they're a disability.
Yeah. I think I talked about that with one of your other colleagues, that we have to respect each other and treat everybody the same. So yeah, thank you for your testimony.
Thank you.
Mercedes. You did so
Yeah.
good, and you thought really, really hard about this subject. I know is one you struggled with because you heard the dad talk about how sad he was that Austin might close, and you were struggling. But then you thought, "Where's this kid?
Yes.
Why doesn't he come and speak?" But you were still on the fence and said, "Yeah, go ahead."
Cause yeah, I was thinking that too. Because he should say something too. Cause he had the right to say things.
Yeah, and he has to live there, right?
Yeah.
So yeah, and that was such a high level way of thinking about it. It's really cool to see you work through it, and then you still had the guts to say, "I'm still not really sure, so I want to testify on," and that is awesome. I'm really proud of you for making
Can I
that.
ask you a question? What do you mean I was the first one?
You were the first one to testify on, so everyone else said they're either for or against. You said you're still thinking about it.
Oh, cause I'm not sure. I want to be. I want to make sure I'm right about it.
Yeah, that's great.
That's good. That's awesome.
That's really wise.
Good work.
Thank you.
All right.
Have a good day.
Now we're getting down to our stragglers here. The ones that really got full teeth to get them up here. Jackson. Hey, Jackson, what's that Nike check? What is it? Just do what?
Just do it.
Just do it, Jackson. Do it. Because you're great at it. Don't you want to come speak? You came all the way down here. Hey. Oh, you need my laptop, right, Aiden? All right, I got you. Anybody else? Aiden can't be up here by himself.
No.
Come on. Austin, you're in Austin. You gotta do it.
Jackson, are you coming up?
Jackson, you wanna come? Come on, bro.
We want to hear from you.
Jackson. You guys are awesome.
You guys can't dress up so well and then.
I know, right?
The doc has a point. Well, you're a doctor, right?
That's right. That's true.
I'll sit. Give me my chair. Sit next to me. All right, I'm gonna come sit over here. Watch yourself. Aiden wants you to go first, Austin. Jackson, you want to go first? Uh-oh. Someone's got to go.
Don't be shy.
You're going to have to go eventually. Might as well get it over.
Oh yeah. Hi, my name is Austin, and today I'm talking about climate change. I'm testifying on it because we have so many people that litter. Like, people that would be driving like on road trips or something, they would stop and get food, but they don't want to take the time to stop and clean up the car, so they think it's okay to throw it out the window. And it can hurt. It can kill animals, or it can hurt the environment, or it can also like hurt the animals. Like you got like little Coke machine, like canned Cokes, and you got the little straps around it. Birds can get caught up in that, and it can choke them or hurt them to death, or turtles. And also, I'm going to talk about oil spills. Oil spills can kill many animals out in the sea, and it can also hurt our environment. It can kill plants and trees. And if they got the money to pay for all the big tickets they have, because we did have three large oil spills in 2018, and one ship can hold up to 700 gallons of oil. And if they can keep paying for the tickets every time they get an oil spill, we should increase the tickets for both of them until they know they can't pay it no more, so they can make sure it's for sure where it won't spill no more. And I think we just increased it all, like increase the tickets where people can't pay for it no more. Thank you for listening. Thank you for listening to me.
Austin, you did so great. I was so excited to hear about this topic. Mainly because it's super important for us to advocate for ourselves, but it's also really important that we advocate for people who can't be here, or animals that can't come up here and advocate for themselves, right? You are really advocating for everyone when you talk about this issue. So way to pick a really interesting topic, and you also gave us a solution. You said, hey, this isn't working. Why don't we try this? And so great job offering information about the issue, but also offering a solution. Good job.
Thank you.
Jackson, you got a question?
Question?
Yes. What about what you said? What do you mean animals?
Austin talked about how climate change and littering and these things are affecting our animals.
Of course.
Yeah.
So, and can animals come up and speak for themselves?
Heck no.
So we wish you could. So that's what Miss Tiffany was saying. It's really good that we're speaking up for the people and things that can't speak up for themselves, like trees and animals and birds and all that good stuff.
Sure.
Well, Austin, I don't know why you're so nervous. You were a natural, man. You came up here and you just owned it. So I really appreciate your testimony. It was really good. And it's actually a policy area that I covered. So I covered environmental policy for Senator Watson. And a lot of the issues you brought up are really important, like littering. Do you know what's going on right now in the Permian Basin in West Texas? There's oil going on. People are also, these companies are building roads, but people are going out and just dumping stuff on them, especially tires. It's not, it's bad to pollute, but like all this water gets in these tires, you know what like breeds in water? Mosquitoes. And that's a killer of people, So pollution affects so much more than just the area of, that's actually dirty, but like, if you're trying to breed bugs that are going to be biting people and spreading disease, that's a problem. And also oil spills. I'm really glad you brought up this topic because it's a big problem. And we're trying as a state to do our best with regulation, but there's so many companies, and you could argue that the state doesn't have enough resources to try and find them all. Or when we do actually catch them, it's hard to make them pay those fines a lot of times because we still need to have gasoline, and we still need to have, our economies run on oil. So it's a delicate balance we're trying to find. I really liked your testimony. It brought in really good, vivid examples, and I was able to really follow along very clearly. So thank you very much.
Yes,
Excellent
thank
job.
you.
Mr. Austin, yes, I appreciate your testimony. I completely agree with my colleagues, and I also love the fact that you came up here and talked about climate change. I used to work for a real cool agency that studied this topic called NASA, and
Never heard of it.
they did a lot of work around the importance of the impact of climate change and the environment and what have you, and so there's lots of disagreement on whether or not climate change is real. I think it is, and I thank you for talking about it. But even more than that, I thank you for talking about holding people accountable for their actions and how to do that. You gave us some examples like increasing fines of how to hold people accountable for when they do, people and companies, when they do bad things to the environment. So thank you.
So thank you.
Awesome, Austin. Good. You added in your fact about the three giant oil spills that happened last year. That's perfect. Only thing I would say is we know that the conservatives are the majority, so we might want to shape our argument to talk about how expensive it was to clean up all those oil spills. See what I'm saying? So if we tell them, ooh, if we have an oil spill, it's really expensive, it might pique their interest and say, yeah, he's right, it does cost a lot of money. We do need to increase fines. So just make sure you kind of frame that argument the right way. Great work, man. Perfect. All right, who's next? Oh, come on, Aiden. Me and you got this, bro. Come on, you're gonna have to go eventually. Let's go. You ready? Come on. I'm gonna help you. Let's start. You gotta look at it though. Hello. Are you with me? No? You're up here. You got the hard part. You're sitting up here. Let me read with you. Hello. Hello. My name is Aiden, and I am with Project. You want to be the last one to go? You do? Are you gonna read it if we be the last one? Maybe, sorta. Okay. All right. What do you say, Jackson? You want to let Aiden try to take a little break? Can you read next? You got it. Here you go.
And what? No.
Aiden, we gotta read. And now's our time.
Let's go, Aiden.
You're gonna do great, bud. I'm right
this,
here.
Aiden.
You got it, Aiden.
We want to hear from you.
You've been doing so good, bro. You read this earlier. We can do it. You ready? You want me to read it for you?
Excuse me, man.
You do?
Excuse me.
It's okay, Max. I'm gonna help. Oh, wait, it's almost on. All right, I'm gonna read it for you if that's cool. All right, hello, my name is Aiden, and I'm with Project LEAP. I will be testifying for SB 21, raising the smoking age to 21. About 95% of adults started smoking before age 21. By changing the legal smoking age to 21, it will lower smoking rates by 12% and 10% fewer smoking-related deaths. There will also be 45,000 fewer lung cancer deaths. I'm worried about my dad because he smokes and coughs a lot. I don't want him to get sick from cancer. Thank you for your time, and I would be happy to answer any questions you might have. But I don't know if you're happy to answer any questions they might have at this point. But that's all right. Thank you. It's a great testimony.
Aiden, I thought you had great information in your testimony. You gave us some great facts about the impacts of smoking and how it would affect your family. I thought it was really well written, and it's totally okay that you don't have to read your testimony. You gave us all the information we needed, and you can just turn that in, and you're still advocating for yourself. So you did a great job just by getting up here.
I'm gonna echo my colleague and say, yeah, it's hard to come up here. We're up here. There's a big seal behind us. It's scary for people, and I was scared the first time I came up here. I couldn't even speak. So, but you know what? When you're up here, you don't have to, because it's like Miss Tiffany said. It is Tiffany. Okay. You can actually turn in your testimony via paper, and there's whole committees and a whole staff of committees that read that testimony, and they weigh the options of what their members should do, the senator, the representative, and they advise based on that. So it does matter if you come up, even if you just submit written testimony. Yours was good. I'm glad that you brought up your family. It's always good to put a face on these things, because a lot of it just can become abstract. It's important to always remember the people in the people's government. So thank you for your testimony.
Great job, Aiden.
Good job, Aiden. Thank you for coming up here. That's a big step, and I'm glad that you did that. You know, as my colleague said, you can always bring your testimony up, and we're happy to have it and read it. And then, you know, just in general, if sometimes you don't feel like you want to testify in a big space, you can always stop by the person's office and talk to them one-on-one, or talk to their staff one-on-one in a much more comfortable place. But what's important is whether you talk to them here in the hearing or in their office, is that you talk to them and share your opinion. So thank you for doing that.
Good job. I know you were nervous, Joe. I know you were nervous, but it took still a lot of guts to come up here and sit down and to put this all together. And we worked on it to put it here because we knew it would be a little bit easier to read. I know you had a plan to do it, but then I know it got a little overwhelming. But you did great, bud. You did great. I'm proud of you, man. Good work. All right. Who's next? We got one more person. Must be you.
All right, Jackson.
Got it, Jackson.
Come on, boys. Yes, I got you. You're back.
Good afternoon. My name is Jackson Crow, and I, along with the rest of us, are with Project LEAP. Today, I will be testifying on the Senate Bill number 418, and the bill's subject today is the art to be entitled as the intellectual disability, which I will be testifying on today. My statement for the bill is that the topic was currently stated. Some honest, reasonable, and supporting facts is the study in California revealing the death cost penalty in the state, which has been over $4 billion since 1978. It's below average function though, but it has an intelligent general concurrent. My personal experience with the bill is determination and appointment of disinteresting experts. And for now, I'm stuck with the truce, but it's securingly brief enough. The committee deserves a thanks for taking time, and I do thank you for letting me present. Now, before we can move on, are there any questions?
Actually, you have a voice for Hollywood, man. You should think about doing voiceovers or something.
No, I shouldn't. But really, come on, why is everyone laughing?
Perfect. That was excellent testimony.
Thank you, man.
That's a professional level.
I know, I go.
But really, are there any questions?
Yeah, I have some questions for you. So I think that first a comment on your testimony. Thank you for bringing in the cost benefit, or the cost part of this equation, because like Mr. Doe has been saying a lot to our, in our testifying strategies, if you're going to have a lot of conservative members on the dais, which a lot of times you do, it's good to mention how expensive things are. So that was an excellent point.
Thank you very much. I also forgot to mention that my father, Jeff Crow, is a big fan of Austin, Texas, and learning the history of it.
Oh, that's excellent. Well, we're glad you're here in Austin, Texas, being able to testify. So I thought you had an excellent testimony. As I said again, you deliver super well. So excellent work, and I look forward to seeing you actually up here when it's real time, during the real session. So good job.
Thanks, but no thanks. Thank you.
Go on, Jackson, you got more testimony.
Jackson, we're not done. You still have things to say. You did a great job. I couldn't tell for a second that you were nervous at all. It was like you were a professional testifier, so well done. I thought it was well organized and you got your point across, and I too appreciate that you brought up the study, but also where the study came from, because again, that's important to have credible sources, so great job.
True.
Yeah, it's good job, Jackson. You were absolutely awesome, and I love your professionalism. So thank you for doing that. Complete agreement with my colleagues. The study's really awesome. California is a big state, so that might compare to Texas. And you guys were talking about testifying strategy. California is also a very liberal state, and so some Texans may run, but you can create the comparison, for the legislators to understand why you thought that was a good study to talk about. And you talked about the cost and your personal experience, so all good points to make, and thank you for being here. You said no, you wouldn't come back, but I hope you do. I think you did a good job.
You're not gonna come back, Jackson?
I know you want me to, but I've got other plans.
You did really good.
Yeah, but what's with the evil laugh?
Oh, just because it kind of sounded like you had plans for world domination. So, Jackson, you did really good, but one thing I'd like to see you do is just maybe practice it a few times before you come up here, because you're gonna get new stuff each time. Great work, though. Great work. All right. Is there anybody else? I know there's a couple more people. It's our last opportunity. Yeah! Anybody else?
Come on, Roy. Come on, Roy. What about the science?
And what you gonna do? Yeah,
Come on, Roy. Yes, sir.
You got it, bro. You got it, bro. You got it, bro.
He's like completely tuning us out.
Josiah, you don't want to, bud? We got your testimony all typed out.
Are you Josiah?
No?
There's one more back there. One
I know. We got a couple. Alright, this is your last chance. Yay!
Yeah! High five, man.
Yeah, you can use your phone. Absolutely. Is that what you prefer to use? Yeah. Okay, cool. You use whatever you like.
Good job.
You got this.
Hey, come on, bro. You got this, bro.
Yeah, Josiah!
Hey, you guys are all dressed alike.
We're the same team.
They're serious.
Come on.
All right, guys. I'm gonna step over here. You guys got it. Who's gonna go first?
My name is Daniel Chang, and I'm with LEAP for SB 21. I will be testifying for the raise of the legal smoking age. Youth is a time of experimentation, but when it comes to addictive products like cigarettes, experimentation can be deadly. Regardless, a raise in the smoking age is on the table. Texas is moving closer to raising the legal age to buy tobacco products from 18 to 21. They also joined a handful of states that already have raised or will raise the legal tobacco age. In conclusion, If the legal age of smoking is raised, the estimated smoking rates would fall to 12%. Thank you for your time.
Daniel, great job. Super well spoken. You like had it down. You were calm. I love what you said about the effects of experimentation and acknowledging that yes, like youth are going to experiment, but let's think about how it'll affect them in the long run. I thought that was a really great line. But also that you mentioned how other states have implemented a similar policy. That's always something members up on the dais want to know is, what other states have done this? What are the effects of it? So really well done.
Yeah, Daniel, you did super well. You were super calm, relaxed. I always felt relaxed listening to you, actually. And you could have said more. I wanted to keep listening to more of what you had to say. But you could come up here anytime and when it's real, for real, and people would listen to you. You're just very calming in your presence. So, excellent point about, kind of made me think in the very beginning about, oh yeah, youth is for experimentation. Except when you get hooked on cigarettes, because that's kind of a long-term commitment. It's not like scraping your knee, like jumping over a fence, right? It's like actually picking up a habit. So I thought you did a really good job bringing that point forward. So thank you. Excellent testimony.
Yeah. Yeah.
Good job, Mr. Daniel. Again, thank you for coming, just like the rest of your colleagues. Sometimes it takes a long time to